Welcome to the Iconics Genesis 64 video guide. This video discusses how to browse the symbol library in order to use symbols in the library. It also covers the addition of new symbols or new categories of symbols into the library.
GraphWorX64 comes with a predefined set of symbols, which are objects you can use to build up your applications. These objects are stored into the symbol library, which is accessible by default from the left panels here between the Explorer and the toolbox. We click on Symbols to bring it up, and the symbol library is organized into categories which are accessible from this drop-down menu here. So as you can see, we have categories for boxes, communication, gauges, and so on. Every category has some subcategories into it, so for example let's expand the cooling and heating folder. We will have a folder for 2D symbols, and inside this folder we have 5 symbol files. For example, this file is used to store boiler symbols, this other one for chillers, and so on. So let's click on boiler to see what's in there. As you can see, a list of symbols appear here on the left, and we can see what's inside there by using the scroll bar to move down. You can also change the visualization of symbols, for example to use small images if you have many symbols and you know what you are looking at, or you can use medium images to see a bigger version of them. To use these symbols you just need to take them and drag them on the screen, and you will be able to use these objects. You can make them bigger if you want, and you can also edit them. So as with any other objects in GraphWorks, you can double click on this to enter into edit mode, and you can, for example, take a part of the object, take another one, move it aside, and so on. Now let me undo this change because I don't want to modify the basic symbol. If you want to use a 3D symbol, you can expand the 3D category, and for example let's take again the boilers file. Once it is loaded, we can see the 3D symbols in there. Let me switch back to the big images to see them a little bit bigger. To use a 3D symbol you still need to drag them onto your working area in your display, and you will be able to use them. Now let's double click on this 3D control to rotate the object around. So as you can see, with almost no effort we already have a 3D object on the screen, which we can use, we can animate, we can plug to real data, and so on. So the symbol library is a comprehensive set of symbols which are available to you and you can use in your application. But the good thing is that you can also create your own symbols, or for example modify an existing one. So let's bring again this symbol and let's take this object here. As you can see, it is a blue object, and just to make a simple change to it, we can change its color, for example to a dark blue object. Now let's say that this is the new symbol that we want to save and reuse in the future. What you need to do is just to right click on it and copy and paste it into the symbol library category where you want to put. Now this would probably not be the best choice because this category is for 3D symbols and we have just put 2D symbols into it. But you get the point. So you can create your object and put them there, and if you create, for example, a new display and you don't save this one, you will still have your object here and you will be able to put it on the screen and use it. If you then decide that this is not the right category for it, or you probably just don't need this object anymore, you can simply delete it. Now, other than using the categories that comes with the product, you can also create your own new categories. So for example, just click on this button to bring up a menu where we select Add New Category. You will have to specify a file where to save your symbols, a title, and optionally a description to define what's inside this symbol file. So let's browse our file system and let's put this on my C drive, and let's create a symbol folder, and inside this symbol folder I will create a new category called My Category. I will not put any description for it and I will just press OK. Now GraphWorks will show me this category, which by default of course is empty because I just created it. So I can copy my object once again and now put it into my new category. Of course, I can also change the name to this object. So for example, I can call it my boiler and press enter to confirm the change. So now this category will be shown among the others into the symbol library, and I will be able to reuse this object over and over in all of my applications. Another good thing is that these categories are saved into some files with extension SDFX, which you can easily copy around, put on a USB stick, send them by email to your colleagues so that you can share your symbols. Other options available here are, for example, the possibility to edit the category list. So you can use this dialog to browse for the files that, for example, one of your colleagues may have sent you, or you can browse for some of the files that you created. And if you look at the bottom of the list, you will see that we have the SDFX file we just created to store our symbol. So the symbol library is a useful tool to store your symbols, your object. They can be 2D, 3D, very simple objects, very complex ones, and it is also a good source for predefined symbols which you can use. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If the symbol that you have in the symbol library is already enough for your application, you can just go ahead and use them without spending any more time in editing your symbols. And as we showed you, you can also edit the existing symbols. So if one of the symbols in the symbol library is almost what you need but don't exactly what you need, you can go ahead and edit it and tweak it and change color, shape, add other objects into it to make it exactly what you need.